everybody, and welcome back to 2 more chapters of The Demon Dentist. We are almost done. As you can see, we are getting close to the conclusion of our story. Last we left off, Dad came plowing through in the train just in time to get Gabz and Alfie safe from the cauldron. But it's not over yet, because you can see the Tooth Witch and her trusty cat coming out of the cauldron. Just skeletons. And they're still chasing after them. Let's read and find out what's going to happen next. Chapter 37 is Skeletons on the March. The skeletons were marching right toward them. The witch one in front, the cat one a few paces behind, her long, thin tailbone standing on end. There's no stopping her, quick! Let's go! Yelled Dad. Dad yanked the lever and the train sped backward out of the cave. Gabz started rummaging through the sack. What are you doing? Said Alfie. Grabbing some dynamite so we can seal her in, replied Gabz. Now, see if you can find a lighter or something. Alfie looked under another sack and found a tin housing some ancient matches, then lit the dynamite with his shaking hands. Be careful, you two, shouted Dad at the pair. Don't throw until I tell you, barked the boy. They both stared nervously at the stick as the fuse burned down. Just before the train reached the cave entrance, Alfie yelled, Now! The girl threw the dynamite stick into the air and it exploded, kaboom! Bringing huge rocks crashing to the ground behind them. A gigantic cloud of dust and debris filled the tunnel. We did it! Cheered Alfie. Now the train was traveling along the central tunnel at speed. They were heading toward the lift that would take them above ground and to safety. For a while, all that the three of them could hear was the rattle and hum of the train. Then, out of the shadows, Dad spotted something. No! He cried. The kids turned around and saw the two skeletons, one human and one animal, zooming after them through the tunnel on a gas cylinder. Mommy's gonna get you! Screamed the witch skeleton. Dad, make this thing go faster! Shouted Alfie. It won't go any faster! Sputtered Dad. With the cylinder catching up with the train, Fang's skeleton was taking clawed swipes at Dad, who was desperately ducking out of the way. The witch skeleton cackled as what was left of her, and the cat scratched the man's head viciously. Gabz held the second stick of dynamite, which Alfie lit the fuse. Let me throw it this time, he said. Now, she shouted. Alfie hurled it in at the evildoer, hovering just behind them. Kaboom! The explosion threw the pair off balance, but it wasn't enough to stop them dead. Their bones rattled as they scrabbled to stay in the cylinder. We've only got one more stick of dynamite, warned Gabz. The cat skeleton leaped off the cylinder and landed with claws drawn on Dad's head. Hiss! She clawed her way over him until her bum bone was sticking right in the poor man's nose. Oh! Said Dad, as the beast sank her fangs into his arms. In pain, his hand shot up off the train throttle, causing the engine to begin to shudder to a halt. Meanwhile, Alfie had lit the fuse on the last stick of dynamite that Gabz was holding, just as she was getting ready to throw it. There was a squeal of brakes as the train stopped dead. The stick of dynamite slipped out of Gab's grasp and dropped into the car. The fuse was burning down fast. Any moment now, it was going to explode. Chapter 38. Mommy's going to eat you. Gabz, jump! Shouted Alfie. The girl leaped out of the train car. Then the boy vaulted over to his father and pulled him clear of the engine just as the dynamite exploded. Kaboom! Rocks fell from the roof of the tunnel, crashing down on top of them. Cat skeleton retreated to her bony mistress, who had fallen off her laughing gas cylinder some way back down the tunnel. Because of the explosion, the cylinder had sprung a leak. It was hissing on the ground. Its sweet-smelling gas filled the mine. Out of the dust storm behind him, Alfie could see the outline of the witch skeleton rising to her feet. The train was now a mangled wreck, and the lift still a long way off. Dad was buried under a mountain of rocks. They had crushed whatever strength he had left in him. Run! Ha, boy! Run! Gasped Dad, as Alfie furiously rolled the rocks off his father's body. Ha ha! Ha! Save yourself! Why? Ha ha! Why am I laughing? This isn't funny. Ha ha! It must be the laughing. Gas, replied the boy. I'm laughing too. Dad, I'm not gonna leave you down here. Come on, Gabz, come on, grab an arm. The kids begin to heave Alfie's father down the tunnel. I'm too heavy, wheezed Dad. His breathing was rattling in his chest now. Leave me. Never, replied Alfie, and together he and Gabz hauled Dad along the track closer and closer to the lift. Ha ha ha! Mummy's going to get you, laughed the witch skeleton, her bones rattling as her shoulders shook. Even what was left of Fang couldn't stop sniggering. With her superhuman strength, the witch skeleton pushed a train in its puny car's aside. Alfie and Gabz started running as fast as they could along the track, Dad dragging behind him. Finally, they reached the lift. The man's wheelchair was lying discarded by the metal door where he must have left it. The three tumbled into the lift, and with all his might, Alfie slammed the door shut behind them. The two skeletons had caught up with them now, and soon the bones of their hands and paws were rattling on the door, frantically trying to force it open. How did you get the lift working? Pleaded Alfie. You just have to connect those two loose wires, wheezed Daz, then pull the top handle. Gabz brought the wires together as Alfie tugged at the lever. The lift shuddered into life. It traveled upward at speed, leaving the evil twosome below. Alfie sighed with relief. Dad, we're gonna make it! But any relief was short-lived, because the skeletons were now clinging on to the cage floor of the lift as it made its ascent. Suddenly, the witch skeleton's long fingers, bones, twisted through the holes of the floor and grabbed at the children's feet. A battered and bruised Dad crawled across the floor of the lift. With all the strength he had left in his body, he tried to beat the witch skeleton's hands back with his fist. However, now she was ripping open the metal floor of the cage, tearing through it like paper. Despite Dad's best efforts, the witch's skull burst through the razor-sharp, and her razor-sharp teeth bit hard into Gab's ankles. Ah! Screamed the girl, clinging onto the bottom of the lift with one bony paw and swiping with the other. Fang, the cat skeleton, viciously clawed at Dad's hands. The beast was trying her best to stop him from attacking her mistress, but whatever Dad did, the witch skeleton would not be deterred anyway. She only tightened her jaws around Gab's ankles even further before opening them slightly to snarl, Mummy's going to eat you. And that's what we'll have to stop for today. 2 chapters we have next, chapter 39 and chapter 40. Stay tuned to see if they can escape the Tooth Witch. Peace.